everyone. This is Priyesh here. I would like to take a couple of minutes and let everyone else join in the room as well. Just some of the housekeeping items while people are joining. Again, thank you for taking this time out today. I know you might be anywhere in the world, so hence, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning if you're joining early on from the other side of the world. And my name is Priyesh, and I'm a practice manager at CloudFronts, and I'm also Microsoft AI ERP MVP. And today I'm going to be presenting about the AI framework adoption strategy. And necessarily, we're just looking the comparison between two tools, Copilot Studio and Azure AI Foundry. So that's just to set the stage. I'll spend a minute for others to join. Okay. So it's 9:31 p.m. at my end, and I'll go ahead and begin. So here we go. So this is the agenda for today, everyone. We're going to look at what this topic is about, why this webinar is being held today, what are we trying to look at. So where are you in your data and AI maturity journey? Obviously, this is one of the first questions uh, organizations ask, that can they readily use AI. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then the AI platform overview, what is on offer from Microsoft, from other platforms, where are your systems ready to take on AI or not. What some of the AI models are available, what are the key capabilities of each of them, components of each of them, what are the licensing differences, how do you distribute all these AI bots that you create through teams, through native AI applications like Copilot. What are some of the use cases that might uh, help you start about thinking AI in your organization? Some recommendations from my end, and of course, it's open for conversation. And what's the conclusion? And we'll also take some Q&A as well. Okay, so that's the agenda for today. I'll go ahead. So I'll talk a little bit about CloudFronts first. Again, for the people who have recently joined, my name is Priyesh. I'm the practice manager at CloudFronts. I'm also Microsoft AI ERP MVP. Been with CloudFronts for over 11 years now, and I help our team deliver projects across Dynamics 365 and Azure across the globe. And so CloudFronts is based out of Mumbai. We are a global AI-first Microsoft and Databricks partner for business applications, data, and AI. And you know, uh, we are 100% focused on data and AI. We've been in the business for over 12 years. Globally, we have projects expanding all the way from US, Europe, Asia, Australia, rest of the world. Um, the common sectors, the primary sectors that we cater to are professional services, financial services, manufacturing, retail, nonprofit. Our project methodology is also seamless, meaning it's a mix of waterfall slash hybrid slash agile, where we start off with a conventional requirements gathering development phase, but as we move through the waterfall model, we have 2 week sprints and take things agile. Okay. Then so there are recognitions as we stand today: Microsoft Business Applications, and data and AI on Azure, and as well as we are a Databricks partner. So let's start about thinking who all need to go on this path, and where do you stand as an organization in this data and AI maturity curve. So again, if you see, I'll talk through all these points of what all these stages mean, what an organization is supposed to be, and where we stand. So first is we start off with clean data. Of course, before starting to think about AI, we start to think about whether you have the right data in order to execute any AI bots on it, or any AI applications. So the first requirement is you need to have clean data. If you have data lying in different siloed systems, they are not updated consistently, or they if they are integrated but they are not updated from time to time, data is broken and they have different vocabulary. It means the data is not clean. If you happen to deploy AI applications directly connecting to these sources, you'll most likely come back with bad results. You'll not get the data you're looking for. Hence, having clean data is a must. And what that necessarily means is aligning your data, which is AI ready for the context of AI to understand. The next stage is reports. In reporting, you can see what the historical data has been, what are your existing reports that you use today, and you make sure that in order to help your business run smoothly, you have your reports in place, because reports are also something that you will need for the data maturity. Then comes ad hoc queries. And what this means is, ask questions. You can start to ask some of the questions if your AI can answer or not. Like if you're looking at a certain sales pipeline report, and if you start to identify trends, immediately you would come to realize that not all, you won't have the right answers for certain queries if you use and ask through AI. So hence, in order for your queries to be running efficiently, you need to be able to have the clean data. And again, what that means is, um, uh, your AI should be ready to handle any ad hoc queries as well. Typically, in a conversational context, if you're if you're querying the system for AI intelligence, it might give you some initial answers but won't go into details, right? Then next is the data exploration. We need the AI to help find patterns and insights in data. And of course, when you happen to build your AI bots, you would also need to have you need to also help build the AI bots with capabilities to go in the data, find some insights, find patterns from the history you have. Then next is the predictive modeling. This is where the forecast will happen. Now, given that you have clean data, you have all the reporting in place, your AI bots are also able to handle the queries well, and your data is well into the past. Then you can use AI to be able to do predictive modeling for the future. Again, I'll talk through all this once we move ahead, because all this is not ready made, and hence all AI bots need to be built in order to do that. Then next is prescriptive analysis. This is the stair where you are in your AI journey. You are able to get some recommendations from the AI bot itself on how to respond. So if you're using your AI models, if you're using your AI bots for some insights about the future of what to do next, then you would be refining your AI agents to give you the right answers. And that stage is where you start to refine your prescriptive analysis as well. And eventually, you want your AI bots to take automated decisions, meaning in your AI maturity journey, your bots are able to take some decisions on your behalf without you needing to really go into the system and just instead of querying data and taking some decisions on your own, AI would help you, take those decisions. So this is the data and AI maturity curve. Throughout this curve, as an organization is on their AI transformation journey, it's likely that they today at this point they are somewhere in the middle. And of course, clean data is the first to start with, and everything else stems from there. Um, so hope this diagram is clear. Again, feel free to stop me or put some questions in the chat, and I would be able to take Q&A towards the end as well. Now, in order to put any organization through this AI and data maturity curve, we need to be able to select the right tools to build your AI bots or AI agents. And the rest of the webinar is going to be focused on that. So let's see how we can achieve the right AI transformation using the right tools at our disposal. So Today we're going to be comparing or looking at the two options provided by Microsoft, Copilot or Azure AI Foundry. So again, the reason these two things we are going to talk about is Microsoft offers both these options, Microsoft Copilot Studio and Azure AI Foundry. Again, these are the two popular tools we have seen for close to 2 years now. And right from the very nascent stage when they were released, we started to use Microsoft Copilot Studio to build some of the AI bots. And then we also saw Microsoft Azure AI Foundry come along, where it gives you more granular control of what you could do with your AI application. So you're able to, build your own bots, and then it's a more code-focused approach where you can, take your bot through a bot framework, then register on the app, so on the app service, and then go ahead and deploying it yourself on a certain channel. So just a brief a discussion about what these two options are, what are the pros and cons, and what each of them has to offer. So Copilot Studio, again, it's a low code, no code AI Copilot, meaning if you're already acquainted with using Power Platform, you're been building model driven apps. If some of you are from the Dynamics or Power Platform side of things, you must be already familiar with what Power Platform has to offer. So Copilot Studio, just like Power Platform, is a low code platform where you'll be given a UI based bot configuration options, where you can build your bot, connect different knowledge sources, give it some actions, and your bot is your AI chat bot is ready to go with a few clicks to deployment. Whereas Azure AI Foundry is a more developer centric and customizable AI workflows. It has access to different models, which we'll take a look about in a moment. So these are the two mediums that we're going to be looking at. Then again, comparison between the two AI platforms, what each of Copilot and Azure AI Foundry does. So core use case, build basic AI agents. Now, what that really means is if you're already in the Microsoft ecosystem, you have a couple of Dynamics 365 applications and you want to build AI agents that run on top of these, uh, Copilot Studio will give your bots connectors and access to your tenants' immediate environments, like even SharePoint, and you can build bots that are designed to do a specific set of the process. Of course, the limitation there is what it can do. Hence, your bot has to be instructed in a way that it's able to follow a certain context of a conversation. And if it goes beyond that, of course, a bot won't return the required results. Best use case for this is when a certain department within your organization or a tenant needs to have a bot for themselves to help with their function. For example, a sales bot where they can salespeople can have query different literature within the organizations and ask some questions in order to prep for their next sales call. Then next is the Azure AI Foundry. Um, Again, use cases to manage your own AI agent. Now, this can be the context can be much deeper, and you get to choose what models your AI agent should use, and hence also if you are able to train the AI agent, and you control the deployment and it runs on Azure. So it's a more in-depth and more mature AI bot that you can go ahead and create. Interface, as you saw, it's low code, hence it's Power Platform. For Azure AI Foundry, it's code first. So you need to have programming knowledge, need to know about SDK, REST APIs, notebooks, and so on. Data access, because this is within the tenant, um, you have you have access to Dataverse, SharePoint, SQL Power Platform connectors. Here, you can use Azure Blob, Data Lake, Vector DBs. So the data store that is on offer is much more complex and program centric. So that's what's on Azure AI Foundry. So MCP servers, inbuilt only Dataverse. We've seen that it was in preview a few months ago, and this is still in the works. And again, some custom self-hosted like Azure Function and App Service that can be used. So, and in Azure AI Foundry, MCP server technology is supported. So again, that's a primary way to go for MCP server context. Then models, two basic models are available. within Copilot Studio, and for Azure AI Foundry, there are more than 90 models available. And this list continues to grow because then it's not restricted to just Microsoft. Models are again from Grok as well, and so on. So model customization, the way to customize your bot is through prompts and knowledge source. And Azure AI Foundry, you have full model tuning capability, prompt engineering, RAG and everything. That's all available to be customized in Azure AI Foundry. Then if you want to publish it to channels like, let's say, Teams or Slack, we have one-click deployment for Azure Copilot Studio, but again, the options are limited. They will grow as time goes on, but that's with Copilot Studio. And for Azure AI Foundry, there's a three-step process where you need to create a bot framework, register your app on the app service, and deploy it to teams separately. Again, the way the agent itself supposed to change, the context would break in case occasionally I've seen this to experience that it would break if there is some update to the bot itself, and you might need to redeploy just to be sure and test it enough. And in terms of Azure AI Foundry, your bots, once you update the bot itself to whatever channels they are deployed to, the changes are reflected in real time. So that's kind of the high level comparison between the two bots. Then I'll go ahead. Yeah, so I was talking about Azure AI Foundry, and just to give you a glimpse, all the different models, AI models are available on the Azure AI Foundry. Then key capabilities, Microsoft Copilot Studio has some pre-built connectors, and based on those connectors, you can create your own bots. And on the Azure AI Foundry side, your prompt flow orchestration of how you want the conversations to flow in your bot, that can be designed. Retrieval augmented generation, RAG applications, that is also on the Azure AI Foundry side. Um, on Microsoft Copilot Studio side, because it's low code, the conversation flow designer is available to you. Hence, what it can do is within the scope of what the flow designer is offering, like in terms of variable, you want to jump to a different topic or end a conversation or hand it over to an agent. All those things are available in the flow designer. Um, in Copilot Studio, it defaults to GPT 3.5. That's the last update I had. And terms of Azure AI Foundry, you can really choose what kind of model you want to use for your bot. Then generative answers are via plugins, and here a vector search integration capability is also available. Then security here is integrated with Power Platform based on the application you use, and based on the user of the bot, the security model is based on what rights they have in that application. Here, CI/CD deployment pipeline is there, and the Azure ML and responsible AI integration. So you got to deploy your own model. That is also possible here. So these just are some of the key capabilities between the two approaches. Then key components, how both of these AI building tools are built. One is the visual agent builder, another is a workspace agent builder orchestration. Again, knowledge connectors, so you can connect different um, knowledge sources. It could be a website, it could be a SharePoint library, it could be a file also, it could be Dataverse on the Copilot side, and here you have 90 plus models. Then dialog flow and actions is the way to navigate within a Copilot conversation, which you can design. And here we have then you have the models. Here you have analytics and reporting, which is again still limited, but one on the Azure AI Foundry side, once you have your bot ready, you can build your own analytics on top of it separately. Then the models on the Azure AI Foundry side, they are open AI, they pay as you go. There are some other different models available as well on self-hosting and computation. Again, I talked about publishing before, that it's a one-click publishing across channels, and here it's a three-step process, and also it involves security via Azure Identity Service. So these are the key components. Then just a snapshot of the Azure AI Foundry, where these are the different channels available. Again, it will show you the status of how the channels are doing and if any of the services is down or not. Use cases, again, the use cases are at CloudFronts, we've been working on a few AI projects for our customers, and I'm just going to share some experience about how we find our experience with both Azure Copilot Studio and the AI Foundry as well, so that we can understand the key differences. So through our testing and experience, we found that Copilot Studio, the agents seemed to not catch the context of the conversation, and it tends to drop if we try to digress and ask different questions. Whereas in Azure AI Foundry, the agents are more intelligent in the conversations, and they'll guide us through to the right conversations and say that, hey, probably this is not supported, but here's where rather you can navigate. Whereas Copilot Studio would just kind of respond like a static message, just like you would see on a screen if there's an error. So here, Copilot Studio, once a flow starts, it cannot be interrupted. The user must complete it, because let's say you leave a conversation halfway, and if you happen to pick it up later, maybe the next day or so, the bot will lose context of what is being discussed. So it's like losing the connection. Here, users can exit the flow anytime, and by simply providing a new intent, the bot will pick it up from that point. Here, multiple AI searches are allowed on the Copilot side. Here, only one AI search is allowed per agent. Then one click publishing to Teams, infrastructure setup is required, again, that we covered in the comparison discussion. Then inbuilt MCP servers, again, so custom servers, MCP servers can't be built. In case of Azure AI Foundry, you can build your own custom MCP server, and it must be registered as a tool. So Copilot Studio response time is slow. Reason being, it goes through many layers of Copilot itself, connecting to different connectors, fetching knowledge from knowledge sources. And because there's no infrastructure involved, means it is handled at Microsoft end, the response time appears slower. In Azure AI Foundry, the response time is much faster because it's processed at a much higher infrastructure powerhouse. So those were the use cases we covered. Then costs and licensing, based on the existing licensing structure, some of the licenses also give you Copilot Studio capabilities, but let's say uh, that's not there. But Copilot Studio itself comes with either, if you have a $200 pack, it will give you Copilot Studio and 25,000 messages to start with. Some of your initial AI bots and use cases can be fulfilled with this. Azure AI Foundry is pay as you go, just like any other Azure service. App Service API, it's not necessary, it's not applicable for Copilot Studio. In Azure AI Foundry, the app service itself, it costs about $150 to $300 depending on what features you enable within that app service. If you are having Logic app and Function app in the mix, both are pay as you go, because again, both are components of Azure. Then bot framework is not applicable here because again, it's built into the Power Platform and low code. Here, bot framework is free, or like no SLA for 10,000 messages, but and premium bot framework is about half a dollar per thousand messages, with 99.9% SLA. So that's uptime. Again, these are costs as we know today, and based on the current use cases. So let's say if you've heard of this term called as Unity Catalog, meaning if you are building a repository of data which you need to bring all the system together to establish a common data vocabulary on top of which your AI agents would be run, um, and the analytics would be sitting on top of that. It's called as a Unity catalog. So the name suggests that bring all the business applications together on one platform, so that your AI agents, one, understand a common language. Second, they don't go and ping end systems whenever your bots are being run, so they prevent from affecting the application's performances. So if your infrastructure AI infrastructure is complex like that, then pricing of course would differ. But these are some of the initial pricings to start with. Then some recommendations, if you are one of the partners or implementing in-house at your organization, um, start with your team skill set and use cases. So if you have business users or functional teams to quickly look at some productivity tools, Copilot Studio is ideal. because it is low code. So it would take still some learning curve for these citizen developers to start off using Copilot Studio, but you can get to your bot quicker with simpler use cases. If you have a technical team, developers, data scientists working on either open source or Microsoft side of things, they would be able to build custom bots. But again, it would, the learning curve is a bit steeper there with technical knowledge involved. Um, assess AI maturity and long-term goal for organizations new to AI. Copilot Studio is easy to start with. Again, it kind of reiterates the first point. And if you are, you know, if you are a vast organizations and if you have multiple use cases siloed by departments, um, Azure AI Foundry is the way to go. That each bot can then be given its own control and it can be scaled up or down based on the requirements. Gives you more flexibility and innovation as well. Use both strategically, not necessarily that any organizations must adopt to just one. So if some departments are on the business application side and within just the data side of things or SharePoint, Copilot Studio is the best way to go if their use case is smaller. But if you're, building bots that are, higher up in the curve that we talked about, then of course Azure AI Foundry built bots are useful there. Then it also depends on the your focus of governance, and necessarily that means is the security. You want to also ensure that users are not accessing something that they're not supposed to, and you want to ensure that bots are used responsibly. So again, there are Azure, there are AI solutions guidelines published, and in order to follow that, that could be part of your strategy. So again, Azure AI Foundry, it gets you to that level of sophistication as compared to Copilot. So these were just some of the recommendations. And again, the conclusion is, if you want to build powerful, flexible applications, Azure AI Foundry is a choice. For low code, you can fall back on Copilot. But again, it can be mixed for both at the organizations. If you want learning and give it a try, start off with Copilot. Um, Again, it depends on in X number of months or years where you would want to be on the AI journey. Of course, let's start with having a clean data first and then moving up the curve. And in case if you need any help in your AI transformation journey at your organizations, CloudFronts teams have the skill set to build these AI agents, because we do this in our business for our customers as well. And we would like to go ahead and discuss. Please email us at transform@cloudfronts.com in order to get started, and either one of us would be able to have our first discussion and we can take it from there. So that was differentiation between choosing the right framework for your AI adoption, between Copilot and Azure AI, Azure AI Foundry. So I hope this session was useful. And if you have any Q&A, if it's time for Q&A, if you have any questions, um, uh, please put it in the chat. Happy to answer them right now. Also, feel free to reach out to us through the email address I provided, transform@cloudfronts.com. Also search us on LinkedIn. You can message us there as well. So just give it a minute in case of there are any questions. Also, if while some of you are putting any questions, I just wanted to reiterate that again, AI is maturing every week, every month, and again, product updates are um, happening quite quickly. And future webinars also would start to reflect all the newer changes that we also uncover during our exploration, during our implementation for our customers. Right. So I hope this webinar was insightful for you. I don't see any questions here, but again, I would like to thank each and every one of you attending today. I hope you had something insightful to learn from this session, and if in any way CloudFronts could help, do reach out. We'll look forward to connecting with you. Again, thank you, and have a good rest of the day or evening, depending on whenever you're joining from. Thank you, everyone.